In this video, let us discuss about service transition. This module describes some of the key principles of service transition that will enable service providers to plan and implement best practice in service transition. The purpose of the service transition stage of the service lifecycle is to ensure that new, modified, or retired services meet the expectations of the business as documented in the service strategy and service design stages of the lifecycle. Knowledge management goal. The ability to deliver a quality service or process rests to a significant extent on the ability of those involved to respond to circumstances, and that in turn rests heavily on their understanding of the situation, the options, and the consequences and benefits, i.e. their knowledge of the situation in which they are currently or in which they may find themselves. That knowledge within the service transition domain might include identity of stakeholders, acceptable risk levels and performance expectations, available resource and timescales. Knowledge management aims to gather, analyse, store and share knowledge and information within an organisation. The primary purpose of knowledge management is to improve efficiency by reducing the need to rediscover knowledge. It is a central process responsible for providing knowledge to all other IT service management processes. Knowledge management is typically displayed within the data, information, knowledge, wisdom structure. The quality and relevance of the knowledge rests in turn on the accessibility, quality, and continued relevance of the underpinning data and information available to service staff. The purpose of the knowledge management process is to share perspectives, ideas, experience, and information to ensure that these are available in the right place at the right time to enable informed decisions and to improve efficiency by reducing the need to rediscover knowledge. Knowledge management, DIKW. Data is a set of discrete facts. Most organizations capture significant amounts of data in highly structured databases such as service management and service asset and configuration management tools, systems, and databases. Information comes from providing context to data or by asking questions on the data. The key knowledge management activities around data are the ability to capture accurate data analysis, synthesize and then transform the data into information, identify relevant data, and concentrate resources on its capture. Knowledge is composed of the concepts, experiences, ideas, insights, values, and judgments of individuals. People gain knowledge from their experiences, colleagues, and friends. They also gain knowledge from the analysis of data and information. An example of knowledge is that the average time to respond to a Priority 1 ticket has increased by about 20% since the new version of the service has been launched. Wisdom gives the application of knowledge to provide a strong common sense judgment. Wisdom makes use of knowledge to create value through correct and well-informed decisions. An example of wisdom is to identify that the increase in time to respond to Priority 1 tickets is due to poor quality of documentation. Important information for someone can be bare data to others. Knowledge management, SKMS. Service Knowledge Management System. It is the central repository of the data, information and knowledge that the IT organisation needs to manage the life cycle of its services. Its purpose is to store, analyse and present the service provider's data, information and knowledge. The SKMS is not necessarily a single system. In most cases, it will be a federated system based on a variety of data sources. Implementing an SKMS enables effective decision support and reduces the risks that arise from a lack of proper mechanisms. However, implementing an SKMS can involve a large investment in tools to store and manage data, information, and knowledge. Every organisation will start this work in a different place and have their own vision of where they want to be. So there is no simple answer to the question, what tools and systems are needed to support knowledge management? Data, information and knowledge need to be interrelated across the organisation. A document management system and/or configuration management system can be used as a foundation for implementation of the SKMS. Quality knowledge and information enables people to perform process activities and support the flow of information between service lifecycle stages and processes. Understanding, defining, establishing and maintaining information is a responsibility of the knowledge management process. Change evaluation. The purpose of the change evaluation process is to provide a consistent and standardized means of determining the performance of a service change in the context of likely impacts on business outcomes and on existing and proposed services and IT infrastructure. The actual performance of a change is assessed against its predicted performance. Risks and issues related to the change are identified and managed. Change evaluation process aims to assess major changes, like the introduction of a new service or a substantial change to an existing service, before those changes are allowed to proceed to the next phase in their life cycle. Change evaluation is called upon by the change management process at various points in a change's life cycle to perform a change assessment. Example: before authorizing the change, before authorizing the release build, during the post-implementation review. Change evaluation, focus and output. Change evaluation should independently evaluate the actual performance against the expected one. Change evaluation should focus on the effect of a service change. While carrying out this activity, below factors need to be assessed properly: service provider capability, tolerance, organizational setting, resources, modeling and measurement, people, use and purpose. The results of this evaluation are sent to change management in the form of an interim evaluation report. This report contains the outcome of the risk assessment and actual performance versus acceptance criteria. The output of change evaluation are interim evaluation report for change management and final evaluation report for change management. Change evaluation uses PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle to operate. Change evaluation is, by its very nature, concerned with value. Specifically, effective change evaluation will establish the use made of resources in terms of delivered benefit, and this information will allow a more accurate focus on value in future service development and change management. There is a great deal of intelligence that continual service improvement can take from change evaluation to inform future improvements to the process of change and the predictions and measurement of service change performance. Change management, purpose and objectives. The purpose of the change management process is to control the life cycle of all changes, enabling beneficial changes to be made with minimum disruption to IT services. The objectives of change management are to respond to the customer's changing business requirements while maximizing value and reducing incidents, disruption and rework. Respond to the business and IT requests for change that will align the services with the business needs. Ensure that changes are recorded and evaluated and that authorized changes are prioritized, planned, tested, implemented, documented and reviewed in a controlled manner. Ensure that all changes to configuration items are recorded in the configuration management system. Optimize overall business risk. It is often correct to minimize business risk, but sometimes it is appropriate to knowingly accept a risk because of the potential benefit. Change management scope. The ITIL definition of a change is the addition, modification or removal of anything that could have an effect on IT services. The scope should include changes to all architectures, processes, tools, metrics and documentation, as well as changes to IT services and other configuration items. All changes must be recorded and managed in a controlled way. The scope of change management covers changes to all configuration items across the whole service lifecycle, whether these CIs are physical assets, such as servers or networks, virtual assets, such as virtual servers or virtual storage, or other types of assets, such as agreements or contracts. It also covers all changes to any of the 5 aspects of service design. Service solutions for new or changed services, including all of the functional requirements, resources and capabilities needed and agreed. Management information systems and tools, especially the service portfolio for the management and control of services through their lifecycle. Technology architectures and management architectures required to provide the services. Processes needed to design, transition, operate and improve the services. measurement systems, methods and metrics for the services, the architectures, their constituent components, and the processes. Each organisation should define the changes that lie outside the scope of its change management process. Typically, these might include changes with significantly wider impacts than service changes, e.g., departmental organisation, policies and business operations. These changes would produce RFCs to generate consequential service changes. Changes at an operational level, such as repair to printers or other routine service components. Change management scope. The figure shows the typical scope of a change management process for an IT organisation and how it interfaces with the business and suppliers at strategic, tactical and operational levels. It covers interfaces to internal and external service providers where there are shared assets and configuration items that need to be under change management. Change management must interface with business change management, to the left in the figure, and with the supplier's change management, to the right in the figure. This may be an external supplier within a formal change management system, or the project change mechanisms within an internal development project. The service portfolio provides a clear definition of all current, planned and retired services. Understanding the service portfolio helps all parties involved in the service transition to understand the potential impact of the new or changed service on current services and other new or changed services. Strategic changes are brought in via service strategy and the service portfolio management process in the form of change proposals. Changes to a service will be brought in via service design, continual service improvement, service level management, and service catalogue management. Corrective change, resolving errors detected in services, will be initiated from service operation and may route via support or external suppliers into a formal RFC. Change management is not responsible for coordinating all of the service management processes to ensure the smooth implementation of projects. This activity is carried out by transition planning and support. Reliability and business continuity are essential for the success and survival of any organisation. Service and infrastructure changes can have a negative impact on the business through service disruption and delay in identifying business requirements, but change management enables the service provider to add value to the business by protecting the business and other services while making required changes, implementing changes that meet the customer's agreed service requirements while optimizing costs.